Where are you
All
guys
right.
watching that?
I own this digitally. I own all three digitally.
And I
Oh,
own
oh,
the Blu-ray.
I have it on Prime.
I got Prime, yeah.
If
Okay.
this picture doesn't make your skin crawl, it is on too tight.
So this is, as evidenced by that, for the original Black Christmas. In three, two, one, play.
And of course, this is the first of two Christmas classics directed by Bob Clark. This and A Christmas Story, which is
And
amazing.
he really went downhill after this one.
We should throw that.
No, you
We should
hater.
throw that in. We should watch that after this.
For
No.
sure. And it's like,
Story's awesome.
once I found out about that, I was like, oh, now I could totally see it because they have such a similar aesthetic, which makes sense because they both have the same cinematographer too. And I just love the way his approach to Christmas movies looks. Like the colors are very rich, very vibrant. This is one of my favorite things about this movie in particular is just how it looks. It's looks both slick and very grimy at the same time. I love it.
Hayden posted in the chat, "Who's the beautiful Santa-hatted man?" I didn't realize, Hayden, that you thought Robert was beautiful. That's a revelation.
I appreciate
Ro-
it.
Roberts is an elf hat, but okay.
No, that's a Santa hat.
No, he
No,
wouldn't.
no.
He hates elves.
Yeah, he wouldn't wear an elf
Only
hat.
some.
One elf.
One in particular.
One kind of elf.
Fucking Dennis wanting to be elf.
All right.
So this is a movie that I'm glad I saw when I did when I was older. Because if I had seen this when I was first getting into horror, I could tell you right away I would have hated it. Because it's not
I would have been bored.
schlocky enough. It doesn't have like a very high kill count. It's not very graphic because we're not in the 80s yet. So this is a movie I'm glad I saw when I was older and able to appreciate more of what it's doing. Also, the second movie I've seen with Margot Kidder, I think.
Well,
Third now because you've seen Sisters and
Yes.
But you would have seen.
But I saw this first, so this would be the second one.
Oh, okay.
I think
You
that's
threw
what
me
it
off
just
there. I
was
was like, wait a minute.
Wait, so second movie or like second character she's playing? Because have you only seen one of the Donner movies when you see this?
I've seen the first two Donner movies. So yeah, I mean, no, well, no, I had seen Superman too. So I mean, I guess second character, like outside of Superman. I just count the Superman movies as like one thing.
I'll say watching this, I can totally see a producer watching this movie at the time being like, she would be a good Lois Lane.
Yeah.
She's great
Yeah,
in this movie.
she is.
Tyler's in the chat, says Black Christmas is one of the all-time great films. It is one of the films of all time. Like I like this movie a lot, but
I think it's one of the best of its genre, I'd say. I think
Austin
to say that.
once said it's the best Canadian movie of all time.
That's probably true.
that might be true. It's that or My Bloody Valentine.
I'm getting another phone call. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Hey, Dan.
Oh, that's fine. Of course, we open with the iconic POV shots that Halloween would later rip off.
Yeah.
And then later Friday the 13th.
This is very influential on those. And here, I feel really bad for this cameraman because he has this giant fucking camera like, on his shoulders, doing this shit.
I really like how the POV shots are filmed here, though, because it's the ultra wide angle lens.
Yes.
And yeah, it just gives
Very
you a lot of
impressive.
space to like take in this cinematography.
Mhm.
Or scenery, I should say. I do love the Christmassy atmosphere of this because, like you said, it's got that grimy look to it. It looks very, Christmassy and festive, but it's also very dark and foreboding.
Well, and it looks very authentic because when you see a lot of more family friendly Christmas movies, they're very deliberately overproduced and have like this immaculate production design with expertise and decorating stuff. All the decorations of this movie look kind of shitty, and like that's the point. Like everything about this movie is treated very realistically, and that's one thing I love about
Well,
it.
and I think that's something that makes it scary is I think you can relate to what they're going through even, what is this now, 50, 60 years later?
I'm back. I've
Yeah,
returned.
it's over 50 years old now.
Yeah, it is.
Tyler, do you think the killer in Black Christmas is actually Billy, or do you think that's just a name he throws out like Agnes? I mean, part of the fun is that you don't know.
I like that we don't know.
Me too.
I don't.
Um,
This movie has an ending like The Thing, where I don't want to speculate because the unknown is what makes it a good ending.
And you don't want a sequel to it.
Yeah.
my guess.
I mean,
is that...
I do, but nobody would like the sequel I'd make.
Oh no.
Oh, don't.
Black
don't
Christmas
do
in
it, John.
space.
No.
Space Christmas.
Yeah.
If I had
Black
to
Christmas
throw out a
X.
guess-
no, guys, like Houston, we have a problem, and on the other line, Billy Agnes. It writes itself.
Agnes.
It'll
I
be
mean, if
Black
I had
Christmas
to
and Black
guess-
Christmas X.
Oh.
Well, the remake
So he's
is
Black Xmas.
Xmas, yeah. But I assume that
Black
like,
Xmas
Agnes,
X.
There we go.
Agnes is and Billy, either his name is Billy or Billy was like someone in his life. I assume
Imagine-
that all that stuff is from like some sort of traumatic event that
Imagine-
happened
Yes.
to him.
Imagine getting a decades later sequel to a to a remake of a classic movie, but not the most recent remake, but like the one in the middle.
Oh,
I
gosh,
am
this could've
honestly-
been happened at some point.
I am honestly shocked that when Blumhouse got this, they didn't try to Halloween 2018 this.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked too. No, they made it better than that.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
John, I
interesting
think
too
you're gonna
because
really like that movie.
because Margot, like everybody knows Margot Kidder now because she became super famous after this, but she's not like the main character of this, right?
No, it's.
Okay.
I would
Olivia
say there
Hussey.
is no main character.
No,
it is a
I
true
disagree.
ensemble.
I think
disagree.
Jess is the main character.
It's Jess.
But
I'd
in
say
Noah's
if I had
defense,
to
it's more of
pick
an
one.
ensemble.
Okay, one at a time.
No.
No.
Oh, guys, I forgot. I can't watch this.
Why?
It's scary.
British.
Yeah, and here she refers to the caller as the moaner, which I guess is probably what you should just refer to this villain as. But the phone calls in this movie are genuinely creepy because again they feel realistic. It's
Yes.
like there are creepy weirdos like this that exist,
Well,
and
have
it's
you,
so unfiltered and shocking. Some of the shit he says.
Have I told you about my not the first time, but I watched this recently, a few months ago, and I like I'm kind of like John is, where I'm not scared by anything in movies. Like I can just watch it. I was a little like ugh during parts of this, and I'm usually
No,
not like that at all.
So my big take after watching this again was it's completely unnecessary to remake this movie, even though we've had 2 remakes, because this one is still disturbing.
It
Yeah.
is.
Like, this is still effective as a
I-
horror movie in 2025.
I think if somebody has a legitimate take, and maybe I'm biased because I like the '06 remake, so I'm glad that exists. I don't need a shot-for-shot remake. I think that does the best, and it keeps the general premise, and it keeps all of the stuff from this, like the college, the setting, and then does its own thing with it. Whether you like that or not is up to personal interpretation, but I think that movie justifies itself. Yeah. We'll see if 2019 does.
And we'll see how I feel about that one when I watch it.
Because that movie is a bona fide just slasher. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and this, like, if you want to call this movie like a proto slasher,
I'd say
but it's definitely one of my favorite of those. Like, this is up there with the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre for me. I do really love this movie, and if I were to do a list of like my top 5 or top 10 movies that I still find genuinely disturbing that have like actually creeped me out, this is one of those movies that's on that list for me.
Yeah, me too.
Funnily enough, I think I might be more of a fan of the proto slashers than big
don't
slasher booms of the 80s.
Don't say that.
Yeah, because I love Halloween and Texas Chainsaw, and I think this is right up there with both of them.
Oh yeah,
and Psycho as well.
No, don't say that.
Like,
why say that?
Well, like I love those movies and the '80s slashers just for very different reasons. You know, like a lot of the '80s slashers I love because they're fun. It's just a
Yeah.
very different viewing experience, and just kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for.
I need to be in the right mindset for those kinds of movies.
Well, and it's interesting because this is the second '70s phone call movie we've covered. Because you made us watch "When a Stranger Calls," which deals with a similar.
So I forget which comes first. Is it this or that?
This does.
This.
Okay.
Yeah, this predates that by a few years.
So it's funny that this does the calls coming from inside the house thing first, but that's not
Mhm.
really a twist in this movie. Like you know that before the characters
yeah.
find out.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because in one of the early drafts of this movie, I think this actually was supposed to be about babysitters, and it was not going to be in a sorority house. That change
Mm.
came later, which is then kind of what When a Stranger Calls is, and Halloween. It's funny
And Halloween.
how much this could have resembled Halloween even more.
Mhm.
And then much later, Better Watch Out.
Yep.
That's a movie about a babysitter.
That is
That's
a
true.
movie, correct?
That's a movie.
That is a movie that Noah has now seen.
Good movie.
It is a cool movie.
Noah's Garrett in real life.
Tyler, would you let this franchise
That's
die?
Robert.
Yeah, I mean, how many times can you remake the same fucking movie?
I think we're good.
Would
I
you
don't
even
need more
call
Black
this a
Christmas.
franchise?
Yeah, this is so
There's
weird about
3
it.
entries. Does it matter if they're all remakes?
I don't know that I would call
I
it
don't know.
a franchise.
It's
Maybe,
a trilogy.
It is a trilogy. They should make a sequel to 2019.
No.
No, they should make a sequel to 06.
And they'll call it Black Christmases.
Christmases.
This time it's war.
I'd love that. No, what they should do is Black Christmas No Way Home, and they just combine. They get
Oh no!
all 3 movies together in one movie.
Although I think almost everyone in this movie is dead.
That's fine. We can
Well, they
see.
could-
We could CGI them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
What, you
I'm
don't
pretty
want
sure-
CGI Margot Kidder to run around with
No.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead?
I don't want that.
Well, you're not gonna get Margot Kidder. Spoiler alert.
What?
It's
She
fine.
couldn't.
because she-
I mean, we'll get there. She
yeah.
couldn't be in the reboot.
I mean, I wasn't basing it on who lives or dies.
Also, Hayden No Way Home brings back dead characters.
Yeah.
Like the analogy still
No.
works.
Oh, and you
Yeah.
could use like the. Well, I won't spoil it. There's stuff in 2019 that could lead to the.
Don't you dare
God
spoil
damn
that
it,
movie.
Hayden.
Hayden, you are such a joke ruiner. God damn.
We just talked over it a bit, but I think one of the things that I love about this movie with the kill sequences is the editing.
Yes.
How that abrupt cut from when he grabs her to back to the downstairs, what's going on, is really effective. And I like how there's a big focus on tension in this movie more than gore. I mean, I like some gore here and there, but I think the tension is what's more effective to me in horror.
No.
Yes.
What?
And I think the sound design in this movie is amazing, because particularly during the kill sequences, there's always like this ominous humming, and then or like a droning sound effect that ramps up. Like it's very ethereal and weird. It takes you off guard because most of the movie is so grounded.
Yeah. No, this and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think, are the 2 most uncomfortable movies that I've ever seen. That aren't just shock value. Obviously, I've seen things in like the Terrifier movies that are a little uncomfortable, but that's a different thing.
No, these are very uncomfortable movies.
I didn't realize that the actress that plays Jess in this just passed away last year.
Yeah,
She
she
did.
did.
That's a shame.
Rest in peace.
Olivia Hussey, R.I.P., who I think is fantastic in this movie. She made my top 10 list of favorite final girls, and it's not that she's like one of the most badass final girls. She's just a three-dimensional, likable character. With a great performance.
I
You
completely
really
forgot you put her
believe
on
her.
there.
I don't think I've seen her in anything else.
Well, it's like, so talking about like Margot Kidder being one of the side characters. Olivia Hussey's probably the biggest name, like when they're making this movie, because she has already been in Romeo and Juliet, which was one of her big hits, and then many years later she'd be in Psycho 4 as Norman's mom, and she's great in that movie. Very different performance from this.
She reminds me a little bit of Danielle Harris. Like the first time I saw this, I thought they looked pretty similar.
I could see that. And it's funny how, John, we talk all the time about like the tropes that Halloween popularizes, that Scream then makes fun of, but one of the big ones, arguably a myth at this point that keeps getting perpetuated, is, oh, you have sex, you die in movies, or it's always the virgin who's the final girl. This is one of our proto slasher movies where that is not the case, because our protagonist of this movie is pregnant at the start of it. Yeah, that's gonna be a big
I would say that that's not a myth. It just that hasn't started yet. That starts in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. When I say, okay, I probably missed, but when I say myth, I mean like post Scream addressing it. It's like both before and after that movie, we've had many examples where that is not the case, but people still talk about and act like, oh, you have sex, you die, or oh, the final girl's always the virgin.
This might be a dumb question. Why is she hiding all the booze? I feel like she should just be able to have that.
Oh, Robert died.
Oh no!
It's the funniest possible.
He's frozen.
So real quick, to go back to the lead in this movie, because she has been in things that we have seen, but it was voice acting. She is Talia al Ghul in the DCAU.
Oh.
And Hayden, she is in The Old Republic as Jedi Master Yuan Par.
Cool.
On far.
She's in SWTOR?
Yeah, the Old Republic, the MMO.
Okay.
She's also in the It. She's also in the It miniseries.
She is.
Oh, okay.
I think she's Bill's
Audra
wife
Phillips Denbrough. That must be his wife. Yeah. Crazy. I don't remember that. But she plays Talia in Superman and Batman Beyond.
Okay, cool. Because before that, Talia was voiced by Helen Slater, who was Supergirl.
Oh, okay.
In the 80s
that might make sense then why she's never credited for Batman the animated series. It's just Superman and Beyond.
Yeah. So that's interesting. And here we're introduced to live action Ned Flanders.
Yeah.
Locally, neighbor radio.
And I really like this subplot with this girl's father looking for her, kind of tracking that investigation, and it always comes back to you remembering, oh fuck, she's dead. Like, this is not gonna end well. Like, you feel so bad for this guy in this movie.
Yeah.
And John, your audio is coming in just a little bit. Just by the way.
Yeah, he's kind of like Ned Flanders minus the corniness, minus the.
But he does have that conservative attitude. He doesn't approve of this sorority.
Yeah. No, that's the part that is most like Flanders.
I love grumpy
guy
Santa with the shittiest fake beard you've ever seen in your life.
He didn't even bother with like a wig or anything.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's great.
This scene here is really funny. When she has her hand on the poster. Yeah, this movie was a lot funnier than I remembered and was expecting.
Yeah, there is a lot of humor in this movie, and I think it's balanced really well. It's never too intrusive.
Like this character, I think the head of the house here is a character that I think could easily get annoying in another movie, but she's performed so well here.
She's in it just enough, and Bob Clark said he based this character off of his aunt, and I think that's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, she feels real. She feels like a real person. Now, what I really need is someone to make a YouTube video going over the timeline between this and A Christmas Story, how they're in the same universe.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Well, a
No,
Christmas
you
Story would
should.
be a prequel to this.
Yeah,
Right.
it
'cause
is.
No,
that
you
takes
should.
place before. Yeah.
You should make that video.
I'll work on it as soon as we're done.
Yay!
It better be out
Yay.
tomorrow.
I
It'll
don't-
be on my desk tomorrow.
You
I
got it. You got it,
confession
boys.
time. I don't know if I've ever actually seen that movie in full.
Oh, you should. It's great.
But you've probably seen it just through cultural.
I know I've
osmosis.
seen parts. Like I know that there's a part
Yeah.
with like a slide.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Yeah, and then that's the movie where he gets his tongue stuck to the pole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever actually seen
He's
that
in a
movie in
bunny
its
suit.
entirety.
And Peter Billingsley is the main kid in that, and he's Box of Scraps guy.
Oh,
True.
Yeah. He comes back for Far From Home.
yay!
I love the trajectory of that guy's career because he's in Jon Favreau's movie Elf. He has a small role
Oh yeah.
in that, so that's
As
how
an
they
elf.
meet.
And that's why
As an
Robert
elf.
hates him.
No. I mean, he's one of the good ones. And then he later.
Damn.
God damn.
Yeah, so then he gets a cameo in Iron Man, and now he's just like an actual character in the MCU thanks to Far From Home.
My boy Willie.
That's my favorite callback in that movie. Is just they brought Box of Scraps guy back.
I respect that one, yeah.
I can totally see this character being based on someone's aunt. By the way,
God damn it, Claude.
And I love that the cat's name is Claude.
Claude. What a Claude.
Claude.
My biggest plot hole with this movie is how did the cat get in the attic?
It
We'll talk
climbed
about that
Noah.
later. It took out its human hands and climbed up the ladder.
That's a very different movie.
Noah's just
Big
biased
cat.
against cats because his always tries to kill him.
I really hate that cat.
That's your cat.
That's a great
Oh,
reveal. Like when the camera
Yeah.
zooms out.
Yes.
Oh god.
Slasher Fred is in the chat. I think what makes the original Black Christmas a cult classic. It's now a murder mystery that never seems to get solved because we never get to find out who this Billy guy actually is. Correct. That is one of the strengths of this movie.
Correctamundo.
I think if you reveal who it is, it ruins it.
I do too. And I like the red herring of her ex-boyfriend here. But then the ending of the movie makes it very clear that he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
the killer.
Viggo Mortensen here as her boyfriend.
For a
Also
second
known
there,
for-
I was looking at him like, wait, is that?
No.
No.
Like,
This
wait a
guy was
minute.
in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, I
that
don't
guy.
watch boring
Oh
movies.
shit! Yeah, that is him.
Which is funny. He's like 38 here.
Yeah, I was gonna,
College.
he is he's the oldest looking out of the
He
cast that
is.
are supposed to be like
That hair
college
is a
age.
choice.
Well, they got to make him
Yeah.
look young.
Um,
No, and
all of this stuff is good. The abortion
abortion
plot line.
subplot.
Yeah.
Well, it's very tastefully handled and extremely topical at the time because this would have been very recent.
This was a year after
Uh,
Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, I'm shocked
Yeah.
like that's even in this movie, and I think it's handled very delicately. The movie doesn't get preachy. It's just very matter of fact in how it treats these characters and how they go about this. And I think the movie does a great job at making Jess likable, understandable, and whether you agree or not with what she wants to do, it's, I think, successfully illustrates how Peter is going about it the wrong way and reacting to it the wrong way, and like he is an
Yes.
asshole.
Yeah.
So I want
in
to
a believable way.
address this just because we talked about it a little bit earlier, but Tyler may not have been here. Tyler asks, so you think 2006 is awful because it shows you who Billy is? No, because that's a different movie. That movie doesn't build a mystery around it.
Well, we could talk about that when we get to it.
Yeah.
I didn't notice last time I watched it that she's giving that kid alcohol.
Like beer. Yeah.
It's to make a crime.
Well, that's what everybody did.
Yeah.
That's just how people act in the 70s.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Margot Kidder's character is a very flawed person, but she's still fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, this is
Yeah.
back when we wrote like actually flawed protagonists.
And she doesn't, and I'm not criticizing these films, but she also doesn't feel like the ditzy bimbo character you see in a lot of the 80s slasher movies, where it's like, oh, it's just the self-absorbed, shallow girl that gets killed. Like, Margot Kidder's character has a lot more depth than that. which I
No,
appreciate.
what's funny too is, so I could see a producer saying this and saying, you know, that's Lois Lane. I could have also seen her around this time being like a slightly older Mary Jane Watson.
Sure.
I could see that, yeah.
Because she's got some of that, you know, party girl,
Mhm.
which we've never adapted for some reason.
And I really appreciate how this movie handles the male characters, where you have a lot of, but besides the serial killer, you have a lot of incompetent or, you know, idiot males in this movie, like this cop Nash here. But it works for the movie, and the movie never feels like it falls into straw man arguments. Especially with Peter, it never feels like, oh, he's the stand-in for, he represents all of the toxic masculinity. It's like, no, he's just a really bad person.
Is this foreshadowing for
And
for a
maybe,
future
maybe not.
Oh God.
What are you
You know,
showing
but-
me here? Come on.
But with the character Nash in particular, the cop, this is where the comedy beautifully feeds into the tension of this movie rather than take away from it. Is you get a lot of bits with Nash throughout where you're laughing at him because he's an idiot, but then you get to the third act, and when shit hits the fan, you're like, oh no, Nash is gonna fuck this up. Like, this is
Yeah.
not, like, it's so perfect the way we built to that.
And he fucks it up real bad.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Hayden's the Nash defender here.
That's his favorite
Yeah,
character.
Big Nash fan. We're called the Nashanites.
Nash.
Is that like a distant spinoff of the Gorgonites?
The what Nites?
The Gorgonites.
The Gordon
Yeah.
Knights?
Do you even know what those are?
No.
That's Small Soldiers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bingo.
And beyond that,
And I really love the way this joke is paid off later.
It's awesome.
I love that we call back to it.
The funniest thing about that is that he doesn't even realize what the word means. So yeah, I've never heard that before.
He's like, I think you're fucking with me, but I also don't know what that is, so I guess I'll.
as somebody
Living
who's
under a
been in
rock.
that position, I do kind of feel bad for him. Oh my god.
And now that is the most terrifying hockey mask I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my
Yeah,
Why
I
does
don't-
Jason wear that?
I don't like that.
I don't
That's
like
actually
it.
what Jason was supposed to wear before they went with the more traditional hockey mask.
So Hayden, you didn't really get a chance to talk about this much. Where does this rank in your Christmas horror?
I honestly haven't seen that many Christmas horror. Like
Oh,
I mean, it's probably the best one just by default.
This
I
is
think-
maybe my second favorite after Gremlins.
yeah, but is it your favorite? Because this might
No,
objectively
Gremlins
be
is
the
my-
best, but it's not my favorite.
Gremlins is my
That's fair.
favorite. I watched Gremlins last night. That movie's
So
peak.
good. I try to watch that every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed that to my girlfriend for the first time.
Nice.
Yeah, I make
She
her
hates
watch
horror
2.
movies and like that movie. 2's not streaming, and I don't think I own it, so no, we didn't.
How do you not own the best Gremlins movie?
I also only own
Well.
Gremlins on DVD. I need the 4K.
Oh my god.
Jesus
Upgrade.
Christ. How old are you?
How old am I?
How old are you? You still watch DVDs, bro? How old are you?
Yeah, it's not 2006 anymore, dude.
Yeah, but it
so
probably
so-
was when I got that DVD.
Sounds
Yeah.
like Peter's taking the news well.
Okay, and I will say, as much as I love Jess, I will say, maybe don't break this news to your ex-boyfriend the day of his recital. maybe wait a day,
Maybe
just for
not,
future.
yeah.
Just
Well,
word of
you know.
advice for anyone in this position.
Tyler
Yeah,
asks,
tell.
Tyler asks realistically, what is Nash meant to do by the end? Jess was going to stay in the house regardless.
I mean,
He,
we'll get to it when we get to it. He just
Yeah.
panics, under pressure. I'm not saying I wouldn't fuck it up in that situation. Most
I
people would.
mean, we'll talk about it more when we get there because I don't remember off the top of my head, but I don't think it's a problem to put a higher standard on a police officer. You are trained to handle stuff like that.
Especially when said
Yeah.
officer had express instructions of how to handle it.
Yeah.
But I also don't think it's done to like a cartoonish or unrealistic degree.
No, I don't even think it's a problem. It's just
Mhm.
because humans do mess up. But you are
Right,
also
yeah.
put at a higher standard when it is your job to do, that.
Here we got John Saxon, who's
Yes.
awesome in
Yeah.
this movie.
I was very
His
happy to see
second
him here.
his second best cop role.
I think, and I need to rewatch Nightmare, but I think
I'm
that he's
biased.
better
I
in
just
this.
I like Nightmare more.
That's fair. I do really love him in this movie.
No, he's good.
I like this character a lot.
He probably got hired for Nightmare because of this movie.
because of this. Yeah.
And sometime after this, we're gonna scene where he talks to Dash, and he's like, "So we have missing girls, and these other girls are getting these obscene phone calls. You don't think we should look into that? You don't think there might be a connection here?"
He's also in a in an Argento film, but I can't remember which one. And he's playing a cop
sure.
there too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I gotta watch more Argento.
Hang on, guys. I'll be right back.
Oh,
Okay.
Robert.
Now Robert dropped out.
Robert.
Slasher Fred says when the original movie came out, it was very suspenseful because of how it was before caller ID, because you never knew who was on the other line.
Right.
Correct.
Correct.
Correct. Which is another reason why it would be hard to remake this movie. We'll see how the other two movies handle that aspect. This seems really funny.
Yeah. I mean, Barb is my favorite. Like disconnected from Margot Kidder, Barb's my favorite.
It's mostly for everyone's reaction too, especially Claire's dad. He's just staring directly into the camera, blank face expression. Yeah, so I mean, she's a character that could get really annoying in a different movie, just like the head of the house.
Yeah, I feel like she's in it just enough.
Mhm. Well, and something that helps is we talked about this before. These are nice 90-minute movies. They get in, they get what they need to get done, and get out. It's not like today where, oh, this is going to be a 2.5-hour horror movie.
Terrifier 2.
Yeah.
Terrifier 2 gets
And
a pass.
I love Terrifier 2, but I would also trim the shit out of it.
Terrifier 2 like is paced like an epic, and it should not be.
No,
It
because
shouldn't be
I
epic.
love Terrifier, but he does not know how to write lore that is like comprehensible. But
I don't like it by 3.
no, I love it in 3 because I don't think anything in 3 lines up with what was in 2. The only
It's
thing
all
that
gonna
I
make sense.
refuse to cut into is the big kill. You have to
Oh,
have
yeah.
every minute of that.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
we've talked about this before, but that's part of what makes those movies longer than typical slashers. Is they have like normal slasher structure, but also mixed with like the torture porn genre, where the kill isn't quick. The kill goes on for like 10 minutes, so that expands the runtime exponentially compared to a typical slasher movie.
Hayden, if you go back and watch our Terrifier 2 commentary, that is a blind reaction from Noah.
Yeah. What's funny because when we get to the big kill scene in that, I think Robert had more of a reaction to it than me.
Did you guys do 3 yet?
No, we're
Nope,
planning on doing
we're
that soon.
doing that soon.
Right.
I assume you want to be there for that.
Yeah. I mean, if I can.
Not if you're gonna bitch about it the whole time.
Oh.
Oh.
I did see that in theaters.
That is
I did too.
so.
I did too. It was
That
a
is
great
the
experience.
weakest like freak out slamming something against the piano.
Boom.
That guy clearly was told you have to do this, but you can't actually break the piano because we can't afford to replace it.
He did break the piano. I saw it.
You did.
I saw it happen.
It's kind of like there's a scene in the first episode of Pluribus where the main character has to try to smash through a door, but she's like gently placing a rock against it. She's like barely.
There's an episode of the current Sentai where an old Red Ranger comes back and he gets shot, but it's clear that he can't damage the suit, so he has to like stage fall while also not damaging the suit. It's really funny.
For a second, I was
That's cool.
confused what you were talking about, but I remember.
I have no idea what happens after that. I've just seen that clip out of context like 500 times.
Oh, just because I sent it to you, just him getting shot.
Yeah.
And part of what I think really works about the tone of this movie, what actually makes it creepy and not your typical fun slasher movie, is usually in a fun slasher like a Friday the 13th movie, you don't usually see like a parent of the victim. You know, we don't make the characters three-dimensional. You don't get to know them too much, so it's easier to laugh or to turn your brain off. But this movie treats what's going on seriously. Like, you have the search party scene, like, oh fuck, we have missing people that we're looking for. Like, it treats the horror seriously, and that's what makes it more effective in what it's going for.
Yeah. There's like a humanist element to this movie that's not in a lot of the like mainstream slashers that came after.
Yeah. Who cares? They're just victims. Just kill them. I don't care.
They're just meat sacks. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the dead body, they are gonna like is a character we didn't even meet. We just see her grieving mother, and it's horrifying. And and I think it also strikes a good balance in the kills being creative and memorable, but again, it doesn't relish in the kills the way like a Friday the 13th movie will.
Well, because we're not at that point yet. Obviously, their censorship is a little different in '74 than it is in like '84. Noah, is this movie Christmassy enough for you? You were very upset with Better Watch Out for not being Christmassy enough.
No, that's not true. I said it was Christmassy enough.
No, you were like, this movie is not Christmassy enough. It's not taking advantage of the time.
No, I can fact check because I actually listened to that. Noah said it was Christmassy enough.
Oh.
If I said it wasn't Christmassy enough, I was probably joking. But
I know that.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I'll use my sarcastic voice next time.
Dude, yeah. You should. I think I might freak out if you actually did, because I don't think you've ever used a sarcastic voice. You just have like the one tone.
John's vigilante in real life. We're figuring out.
No, to be fair to John, that's what's so like hard for some people. It is hard for some people to tell when I'm joking because
Yeah.
my voice is so
Mhm.
monotone.
Yeah.
I think with that though, because with Better Watch Yet, I was saying that I didn't think that the story was like there wasn't like a story reason for it to be take place during Christmas, but I think you could say the same thing for this.
I think you could say the same thing for this and probably Gremlins. Like,
Well, no,
I don't
with
really
Gremlins,
see-
it's because the gremlin is a Christmas present.
Right.
yeah,
And I don't know. And there's like stuff with like toys in that movie too. Like I don't know.
Yeah, you get the gremlins
Yeah.
going Christmas caroling.
It's true.
This
For me,
is-
it's
the tension in this scene is really well done.
yeah, and like this is the most over the top kill the movie that veers most into like oh shit like
But it's
territory, but
effective
it's
because you don't see anything actually happen. It cuts away.
yeah, it's the editing, the sound design.
This is why addicts were a
Yeah,
terrible
sound
idea.
designs.
Yeah, I agree.
It is funny imagining that cat climbing up the ladder.
Why is she squinting like that?
She just said she can't see anything.
Well, she can now.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think the scene is more well lit than it's intended to be, but I'll take this over something where I can't see jack shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the important part is we can see what's happening.
I would take this because at the very least we can see what she's seeing, so we know why she's
Yeah.
like freaked out, hesitating. Because something like Hellraiser, if this was lit like the Hellraiser remake, would be like, "What are you looking at? What?"
I also love the cut to the guy screaming at the door.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's so
hey.
abrupt. Hey!
Somebody let me in. It's cold.
No, that shot is fantastic. But back to the whole Christmassy thing. For me, it's all about the juxtaposition. It's this
Yeah.
bright, supposed to be the happiest time of year, and you have this horrifying shit
The
going
darkest
on.
stuff happening.
Uh,
That's why
and,
Shane Black said a lot of his movies during Christmas. I think that's the very reason he gave. It's the juxtaposition.
Absolutely. And in terms of like the plot, I mean, you have the girl leaving to see her father, and that kicks off the whole thing. Like the Christmas break is a factor in the story.
This is a personal preference. I don't love that first person shot. It gets a little too chaotic, and then I can't really see what's
I
happening.
like it.
That's just a
I
personal
like it.
preference. It's probably important that it's there. It's just,
Well, he's freaking out.
he is freaking out.
He's freaking out.
And John, where I think I'd understand putting this like in the proto slasher camp, like we talked about, is you have a killer who doesn't have a mask, doesn't have a gimmick, doesn't have a crazy name, even though they like to call him the Moaner one time. And like I guess the only gimmick you is the phone calls, but deliberately there's nothing flashy going on with this character like you'll get with the slashers later. But again, that's what makes it work. That's what makes it scary.
Yeah, and I mean, I think people put too much stock in the whole proto slasher thing. That is still a slasher. It's just to articulate. These are the ones that built up what we now know as slashers, but these don't always follow the slasher rules because they hadn't really been invented yet. For me, proto slashers end when Friday the 13th comes out. That is the quintessential. This is a slasher.
Yeah.
It's about the kills. It's about the gore.
That's when critics start shitting on them.
Yeah.
That's another way of putting it.
Because the movies that we think of slashers are all looking at Friday the 13th for their structure and kills, and at least in America, it gets messier when you throw in stuff like the Giallo and Italians, the whole Italian movement.
Sir, I think you need some help.
What
Wow,
Robert's not
that's a-
telling anybody is that's actually him on the other line.
Oh,
He wasn't alive.
you don't know that. As far as you know.
Oh,
We don't know how old Robert is.
Yeah,
He's like Gleb.
I'm the Gleb of this group, exactly.
Oh no. You bastard.
you started the Black Plague.
Well, it is Black Christmas. Yeah, it's all connected.
Ayo.
And fun fact that I don't know if you guys know this, when this movie was released in America, as we mentioned up top, this was a Canadian picture. In America, it was actually retitled Silent Night, Evil Night, because the U.S. producers thought people would be confused and think this was a blaxploitation film.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm not even
I
joking.
I do kind of dig that title though, Silent Night, Evil Night.
It's not bad.
I like
think
Black
Black-
Christmas.
Does that make it a prequel to Silent Night, Deadly Night?
That is a good question. And also,
Wait a
there's
minute.
movie
Wait a
called
minute.
Christmas Evil.
Wait,
that I
wait,
haven't seen yet.
wait a minute. Silent Night, Evil Night, and the killer identifies himself as Billy. The killer in Silent Night, Deadly Night is Billy. I'm
You're onto
just.
something.
that is correct.
This is what Billy was doing before Santa killed his parents.
It's
He was
really
a baby.
Wait a minute.
it's really funny that Christmas horror movies like this exist long before that, but then that's the one that gets like boycotts and controversy entirely just because the killer is in a Santa outfit.
Yep.
It's really funny.
No, we're gonna lose subscribers for this, but moral outrage like that has always been selective and petty.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Absolutely.
think that's that controversial of a take. I don't think we'll lose subscribers for that.
No, John's gonna get attacked in the street for that.
Probably. Somebody will be like, no.
No.
This is one of my favorite little bits. We just talked over it, but again, just shows what a fucking asshole Peter is. Where he's, of course, bringing up the abortion again and asking, like, why didn't you meet me? Why did you blow me off? And she's like, oh, I was in a search party. I was looking for my missing friend. And, like, quietly under his breath, he just says, how noble. Like, he does not give a shit. And it's like, again, I don't care how you feel about what Jess wants to do or where you land on that. This other thing has
He's being a
nothing to
dick.
do with that.
What's
Yeah.
funny too, he reminds me a lot of Billy in another Billy in Scream, because you have that scene where he's just upset that Sydney won't have sex with him. She's like, I'm sorry that the trauma from my mom dying is getting in the way of your sex life.
So, yeah, get over it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been like a
Get
year.
over it. Babe.
What we're learning is that we have the Billy trilogy: Silent Night, Deadly
Yes.
Night,
Yeah.
this,
The
and
trilogy.
Scream.
The pillage. I was about to say the pillage. Well, the real pillage is Kill Bill 2. And
Kill Bill
and
1
Dead.
and 2, and then some other movie.
Bill and
Kill
Dead.
Bill 1, 2, no, Kill Bill 1, 2, and then the whole bloody affair. It's just a loop.
Yeah, it's a loop. Never ending.
The Billogy.
Yeah, I love the Billogy.
I wish there were 3 Kill Bills just so we could have it. The Billogy.
I think Tarantino talked about wanting to do a third one. And I was just like, don't do it.
The
No,
Bill's
Bill's
already
dead. Don't.
Yeah.
The third
Spoilers
one
for
is
Kill Bill.
Revive Bill.
You can't. That
So we
actor's
should kill him
dead.
again.
What?
Even if you did that, the actor that played him has passed away. Like,
Oh, right, yeah.
No, you make it right after Kill Bill 2.
oh,
Yeah, we have CGI now. It's fine.
that's true.
Oh, no.
No, you know what they'll do is they'll make Kill Bill 3 and it'll be all in Fortnite.
Yes.
No.
Noah, do you know about that? He made like a short film in Fortnite.
I did see that. Yeah.
Ugh.
That's cool.
See,
But
that's
back to
okay,
this
but
movie.
Paul Dano sucks as an actor. Anyway.
Oh,
I
we love Paul Dano.
I feel like Tarantino should have lost a lot more street cred for that than he did.
Oh, I mean, people have been dogging on him for that.
No, not for the actor thing, for making a movie in Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
The actor thing is whatever. Like, he can have all the black takes he wants. Like, who cares?
Didn't they say something else about somebody else recently?
He
too?
shit on Lillard.
Matthew Lillard.
Oh yeah, that one was whack.
Well, the Paul Dano one was whack too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
awesome.
but
Yeah, this is the scene I was talking about where John Saxon's like, "What the fuck? Why didn't I hear about this sooner?"
He's so good in this scene.
He's great.
It is because this is 10 years exact before Nightmare. He looks so much younger here.
Yeah, he has more hair.
Yeah. And I know 10 years is probably actually a long time, but just thinking about it, it doesn't feel like that long. But it's also interesting to think how much movies change in that 10 years.
I think what makes this scene so funny for me is the guy in the background laughing.
It doesn't feel like we're stopping the movie. It's just like this little extra bit of downtime. It's just this little human moment where it's not like John Saxon's just exposition man. It's like you get these little human touches with these characters, and it's great.
Yeah, I wouldn't cut this.
what's this then?
What's this then? Oh no, another British character.
Slasher Fred, I think that the original movie was the very first holiday horror movie, although Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol is a horror story, but it's mostly a ghost story centered around its main villain.
That is true.
I've never considered that a horror story, but I mean, I guess.
It's a ghost story.
Yeah.
But
But does that mean Casper's a horror movie? Like, just because it has ghosts in it? Oh.
Yes.
Casper commentary went.
I find Casper very traumatizing. I can't
He's
get
a dead child.
No, Casper's a horrifying movie if you look at it right. We should do that for the channel.
We'll do that and the made for direct to VHS prequel.
Oh, good.
I owned that on VHS tape when I was a kid.
I had Casper on VHS and I watched it a lot.
I watched Casper religiously, and I'm terrified to go back.
Oh, it's gonna be bad. Let's do it.
I also had the PS1 game, and I could never figure out how to beat it.
Did you ever have a game like you could not beat as a kid, and then you play it as an adult, and you're like, oh.
Yes. The Siphon Filter trilogy on PS1.
Mine is Toy Story 2.
Oh my god, that's a great game.
That's on PS Plus now, and I've been thinking about trying that because I never played it.
When I was a kid, I thought it was like hard, like really hard, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I had Siphon Filter when I was a kid on the PS1, and I could not beat it. When they released them on PS Plus, I went back and tried. I'm like, oh, these are easy.
But on the opposite thing, I have games that I beat easily as a kid that now I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, like what?
I don't have specifics, but like, I remember I had that with This isn't a hard game, but I went back. I have the Wii version of Force Unleashed 2, and when I tried to play it again, I was getting my ass kicked. I'm like, oh.
Oh, how embarrassing. I didn't even know they made a Wii version of that one.
The Wii version of the first game's peak.
Cool. Well, back to this movie.
No.
You guys ever played the Wii game for Black Christmas?
Yeah, it's my favorite.
That was pretty good.
You get to call a sorority house.
Yeah.
I think there's a VR game out now.
You actually got to use. You had to use the Wii remote to put it up to your
Speaking
ear with the
speaking of
button.
games, though, I think that Terrifier game is out. I need to get my hands on that.
It is, yeah.
Oh my god.
The arcade.
Yeah,
The arcade.
that's what it's called.
I hate it.
Why?
Why? It's good.
I hate it.
That's a good word.
No.
It is a good word.
Hayden just hates art.
Yeah.
Sure.
The real
The art
question
of
is people
dying.
talk about our video games art, our movies art, and I say no.
Oh. Well, you can't hang them on a wall.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, no one's
You
gonna get
can.
that reference.
It's fine.
I mean, I just can't take anything Hayden says seriously now that he's dropped the Santa hat.
Yeah. He's revealed that he is a bald fraud.
Put
He
it
couldn't
back
commit
on.
to the bit. Yeah, put it on.
Put it back. There we go. Does this work?
Yes.
Okay.
Now we're getting festive.
Noah, where's your Santa hat?
I don't know.
No, I will probably drop it by the third movie, like fully, because it's hot in here.
Yeah,
No, you have to wear it throughout the entire thing. You have to finish the story.
No.
I don't have anything festive to wear.
Well, the main character of the story died in the ring yesterday, so.
Oh, say that. I say that.
Rest in peace, John Cena.
John Cena's dead. Rest in peace.
Who's gonna be Peacemaker?
John Cena 2.
Yay.
They
No, Cody
cloned him.
Rhodes will be Peacemaker.
Excellent.
Yeah, I guess he is basically just John Cena too.
Yeah, they're the same guy, right, John?
Yeah.
I like that this movie actually shows the methodical process of tracing a call, and you realize what a pain in the
Yeah.
ass that was back in the day.
Huge
Oh,
pain
yeah.
in the ass.
It's like, oh, that's why they need to keep them on the line for like a minute.
And now it's like, oh, okay, we got it.
We got it. We did it.
We did it!
We got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got it.
We got him.
We're an hour
I
in.
think
We
they-
only have 4 hours
I
of
think-
content to go.
Yeah,
Yay.
I can't wait. I think they could do a good job of establishing Peter as the red herring.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I couldn't remember how this movie ended when I watched it the first time. But I like how it ultimately wraps up with them getting the wrong person.
Well, yeah, it's just kind of he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. I love how the second John Saxon sees him, he's like, "Oh, that's totally the killer, this asshole." And then he's right, and then he's not, But you totally get it.
And I mean, the whole time rewatching this, I was like, "Yeah, there's no way he's the killer." But the movie does a good job of making you think he might be, with like how erratically he's acting and how he's framed in certain scenes.
And he looks similar enough to the guy playing the
Yeah, he's
actual
got
killer,
the
even though,
longer hair. Yep.
as a connoisseur of 80s slasher movies, it doesn't matter what the killer looks like. They can still turn into a completely different actor when the full reveal happens.
Yeah.
Case
no.
in point, Betsy Palmer's hairy hands throughout Friday the 13th.
It's not a slasher movie, but there's a storyline going on in wrestling right now where a guy in a hoodie attacked, and it's clear just like a stand-in until the guy that's supposed to be him is ready, because he's out on injury. It's really funny.
Oh, good.
They just have him like in a zip-up hoodie and like a mask on so you can't see who it is, but it's clearly supposed to be a specific guy that's out on injury. So it's probably just like a different guy under that hoodie every time until the real guy's ready.
Like, John, who's it supposed to be?
Seth Rollins.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I recognize this guy that's tracing the call here, but
He's
can't
the
put my
I'm
finger
pretty
on it.
sure that's the guy, the projectionist guy in Zodiac.
Oh,
Oh, Okay.
pretty
David
sure that's
Corn Sweat.
I thought you were
No.
gonna say in Pearl. I was like, no.
I'm
No,
pretty
the
sure he's
guy-
a projectionist
guy
in
who-
Pearl, guys.
No, it's the guy who works at the movie theater in Zodiac, and it's like
Okay.
maybe he's the killer, and then like no.
I need to watch
Because
that movie.
Hayden, you weren't there. The projectionist is Robert's favorite character of all time. In
true.
Pearl,
He
from
relates
Pearl.
to him.
Yeah.
He's the hero of the movie.
He spent that entire movie defending the projectionist. It was a little weird.
And
Just
I'll do it again.
because
I mean,
he looks like
I mean-
Superman doesn't mean he is Superman,
He
Robert.
doesn't really do
He is-
anything that questionable. Like he,
No.
Oh, good, another one.
I mean, he like. We should
Getting out
talk
of
about
hand
Black-
now.
There's
There's
two of them.
We need to talk about.
Hey,
Black Christmas and
Austin's
not-
on my team. You guys are outnumbered.
There's some great shots. Like this is a great shot with the fire in the background.
Mhm. Heavy breathing intensifies.
Cool.
Yeah, if there weren't a crazy killer on the loose, I'd want to live in this movie. It looks
Oh.
so. Yeah, it looks so Christmassy and.
Are you gonna want to live in the
So-
remake?
He definitely would want to live in the 06 remake.
Well,
Oh, Noah died.
wait, do you guys hear me?
Yeah, you just froze up
Yeah.
for a second.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm not prepared to
no-
comment on the remakes yet.
no, Noah. Clearly, you're the biggest Bob Clark fan, as you really love the Baby Geniuses movies.
Did he make those? I didn't know that.
Did he do both of them or just the first one?
It says he directed both of them.
Oh,
Excellent.
I've seen
that's
Baby
true.
Geniuses 2, Super Babies.
Yeah, no, that's Bob Clark. That's your favorite movie.
Okay,
When are we gonna watch
so-
Baby Geniuses 2, Super Babies?
Never.
Oh, we will.
Right now.
Okay, so the guy tracing the call we were talking about, and Noah said he looked familiar. That's because he's the main villain in Videodrome, which we just watched recently. He's the guy who's assassinated
Oh,
at the end.
Is he not the guy in Zodiac?
I don't think so. I don't see him listed on that movie.
Okay.
he really marinated in
Sorry.
the villain roles to get to that movie.
Shut up! Don't use that word.
He is also the Christmas tree salesman in A Christmas Story.
Oh,
That's the
Yeah,
same
I'll
guy.
have to-
It's the
I'm
same
gonna have to
character.
look up that guy.
oh no, it's creepy carolers.
Have you guys
Carolers.
ever had Christmas carolers come to your door? This is never.
No,
anything
I'm
that's
good.
ever
At this
happened.
point, I'm convinced that is a movie thing.
That is a fiction
okay.
invented for
No.
movies.
I have known Christmas carolers, but I've never had.
Oh, sure
them
you
visit
have.
me. Oh, no, trust me, I have known. Some
Okay,
Christmas
so
carolers.
what we've established is that Christmas carolers exist only in movies and wherever the hell Robert lives.
Yes.
Wherever the hell he
Apparently.
lives.
I mean, I don't want to dox him.
Well, I do.
Well, Robert clearly lives at the store.
Yeah.
With Hayden?
Yeah.
I don't live at the store. I just work.
Yeah, you do. That's where you live.
No, you're in the
You
store right
broadcast
now.
in the store.
Oh, this is a weird store.
Robert is the creature that lives in your attic.
I don't have an attic, so that's weird.
That's what you
Whoa.
think.
Robert made an attic and lives in it.
Yeah.
Is that why I hear like footsteps and episodes of Scooby Doo all the time?
Yeah.
I don't watch it that much.
Just a little.
Tyler says Christmas carolers don't go to houses; they tend to do it public areas. I don't believe you. They exist only in movies and in the store.
I'm just talking like this kind, like
Yeah.
in movies where they go house to house to sing.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
never
I've never
seen
had
that
them to my
before.
house, but in my defense, I never lived in town.
That's true.
I don't live in town. I live in the city.
Hayden lives in the swamp.
Get out of my swamp. This is a creepy child.
It's a
This
creepy scene.
whole kill scene is genuinely disturbing.
And the slow-mo is really effective.
I think that one
sound
shot with
design.
him raising the blade up is a cover for this movie.
Yeah, that's the Scream Factory cover, I think.
I thought the
I think
Scream
the
Scream
normal
Factory
poster
cover
is
is the one he
blue.
has.
Well, it's the reversible one. So it's kind of obscured there, but
Ah,
there you can kind of
yes,
see him.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that poster better.
Like both.
I do need to get that 4K. I need somebody to put out the 06 one. I don't know if that exists on anything other than DVD.
I don't think it's ever gotten a Blu-ray release. We were talking about that earlier.
Get the DVD.
No, it's not 2006,
Be
and
like
I'm not you. I like to watch my movies in an acceptable resolution.
The last DVD I bought was Halloween Ends because it was either like $4 for that or like 15 for the Blu-ray. I'm like, eh.
If you're gonna buy it, at least buy it in an
That's just
acceptable
so
format.
random. Halloween Ends.
I own the first two on Blu-ray and Ends on DVD like a champion.
That's embarrassing.
Imagine if you. If it was,
Imagine
like,
buying
Denver or
Halloween
whatever.
Ends.
Well, imagine like having the whole trilogy, but each subsequent one is a different format.
Well, I've
You
thought
have,
about
like-
getting the 2018 4K, so it would be that.
Well, you should have like the '78 movie on 4K, 2018 on Blu-ray, Kills on DVD, and then Ends on VHS.
So
Hell yeah.
let me ask you guys this, because obviously we're getting like a child's voice in that one. Is the idea he's putting on voices or has recorded these? What do you think?
I
That's
thought
how-
about maybe.
I've always
recording.
interpreted. Oh, and I've always thought he was just doing voices.
Okay.
He could have been a prolific
I was gonna
ventriloquist,
say,
you know.
he could have been a good voice actor.
And
Oh.
I also want to mention this guy tracing the call here again. He wasn't just in Videodrome, because I looked deeper at his filmography and went, oh shit, he's also in the Dead Zone, which we just watched.
Is
He's
he
the guy
that gets beat up by
He's
Martin
in that
Sheen?
one scene. He's the guy who's in that one scene.
I knew it. Because I think I even said in the commentary, I recognize that guy.
It was in The Fly. I forgot about that.
He's
The
sunburned
ice
everything.
is gonna break.
6 degrees of that guy.
Okay, so last question I have about this premise is, they're just at school, right? Just go home, leave. Okay.
Well, they're looking for their friend.
Wait. I'm sorry. Restate the question.
Well, they're at school, right? And they're getting these weird calls.
Well, they're in a sorority. Like,
yeah,
they
This is
live
their
there.
house.
just go home.
Some of them, their home's really far away.
Yeah.
No.
And
Yeah, the main character's British, I assume.
Yeah.
Hayden, she just has to go next door
To England, yeah.
to England.
I mean, get a hotel or something. Like, I would just get the fuck out of there.
Well, I mean, right now, Jess is working with the police. Like, they're trying to trace the Carl. I mean, that's why she's still there.
Yeah, that's true. That guy looks like he's in pain.
Yeah, meanwhile, this whole other movie's going on with this guy who got shot in the ass.
Little bastard shot me in the ass.
The arse.
But back to the voice on the phone, though, because like I've always interpreted it as just the killer is just doing multiple voices, but the killer is voiced by two people. A guy I don't recognize, I think a character actor, and also Bob Clark is doing a lot of voice on the phone. So the more you know.
That's funny.
That's cool.
Reminded me a bit of Psycho, because Norman Bates does the mom's voice on that.
Yeah, and that's one of those like leaps you have to take with Psycho. Is he does a perfect impression of his
Of his
mom that
mother,
fools other
yeah.
characters.
Well, that's why I was asking about that, because that just sounded like a kid and like a woman. I didn't sound like a voice, like he was voice acting.
I want to see the alternate timeline where the killer in this movie goes into voice acting auditions for like video games and stuff.
I'd
Oh,
love that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to think somebody just walked in on Bob Clark making an obscene phone call, and he was like, "Oh no, it's for a movie," and they had to build a whole movie around it.
Oh fuck! I gotta hire a writer.
And of course, should have mentioned earlier, like these were really rampant at the time. Just these crazy, obscene phone calls people were getting. Not much has changed, but at least it's easier to block people now,
Yep.
or to not answer
Like
spam
someone in the
calls and
chat
shit.
mentioned before, but now we have caller ID, so this
Yeah.
kind of thing is not as relevant.
Well,
Arguably,
look,
I'd
it's
say it's kind of come around now. It's not harassment, but like you get spam calls and robocalls. It's kind of come full circle. But just
I
Yeah.
also think the idea of updating this premise to DMs and cyber stalking could work.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
I didn't
see
even
if
think of that.
2019 succeeds at that or not.
no, you'll make Noah mad.
Wait, you just spoiled a thing in 2019.
no.
After
That's bad.
bitching for the entire runtime that Noah saw something about paint cans in the IMBD trivia.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, hey,
is a different situation.
it is. Yeah, Hayden, like Noah, he stopped the movie and pulled up IMDb trivia on
No,
his phone.
I didn't stop the movie. We had to pause because one of you had an ad.
Okay.
That technically the movie was stopped though.
Yeah.
It's not like
Everything
I
I've said is
initiated
true.
stopping it.
Robert didn't lie for once. He usually lies constantly, but
That's why we call him Robert the Liar.
It did ruin the whole movie for me, though, so it's unfortunate. This whole thing is really awkward, having to reveal this information to the cop and by proxy your friend that's also in the room with you.
Yeah.
I said earlier we don't need to remake this again. Flanagan's Black Christmas would be peak.
This is just our answer for everything.
It is. Are we ever wrong?
I mean, we're not. I love Mike Flanagan.
That should be a movie, though. I don't think I need the 8-episode miniseries.
No, I need
Black
the 8
Christmas.
episode miniseries, and each
I
one
need
is the
the-
different girl in the sorority. I also need the 20 instead of a creepy phone call, it's just like a 20-minute phone call that turns into a monologue.
I was gonna say I need the monologue from the cop here in this scene.
Yeah, but imagine turning one of the killer speeches into a 20-minute monologue.
It's not even like a real monologue. It's just 20 minutes of him doing his like wacky stuff.
Well, that's a monologue. That's a monologue.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, I'm being too picky with my monologue. I'm hung
Yeah.
up on
Well,
that
you
word.
hate the greatest monologue of all time, which is from Friday the 13th Part 4.
Yeah, because it's not a monologue, but that's okay. Call it what you want.
Hayden's like, what the fuck is happening?
no.
Is Friday the 13th 4 a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Because he says "Holy
No.
Jesus"
Yes.
Christmas shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the best
I mean,
Christmas
that is,
movie.
and also like, glad you mentioned that because like that is the most iconic monologue in that franchise.
Well, that's what we were talking about.
Shut up, Robert. Go home.
I really like that one monologue
Okay.
in part 5 where the guy says ooh baby, ooh baby. That's a good
That's a
monologue.
great one.
Hey, baby. Ooh,
Hey
baby.
baby.
Hey, to know you're gonna get us demonetized.
Oh shit. Yeah, like anyone's gonna copyright claim for that song.
Have you guys seen the absolute peak video that that
the
extended
remix.
Oh, yeah.
disco enchiladas? It's beautiful.
That's a good one.
Beautiful.
Here we got Harry and Marv here.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, Home Alone just ripped off this movie.
Oh no, the mashup of Home Alone and Black Christmas.
Yeah.
These guys are weird.
I don't like them.
Go away, Harry and Marv.
They're weird, and I don't like them.
They stink, and I don't like them.
I completely forgot about these guys.
And it is funny how, Peter just had a really bad day, and now there's gonna be all this evidence that points to him being the killer. Like, oh, this guy smashed the shit out of that piano. Yeah, he's probably
Well,
nuts.
That'd be circumstantial. I mean, not even circumstantial. That would have nothing to do with anything.
Tyler asked, "Do you guys have any
Well.
Christmas traditions?" Not really. I try to watch a couple of Christmas horror movies every year, but
I mean, I did more when I was living with my parents, but
Yeah, that's the thing.
right, yeah. I'm at the age where like I don't expect Christmas gifts from anyone right now. Like I don't really care.
I get stuff from my parents and girlfriend, but other than that, like not really.
Yeah. I never did the thing. I mean, we did some years, I think, but I never did the thing where you were allowed to open one present on Christmas Eve. I know
We
that's
did
a
that-
thing with a lot of
We did that like
households.
one time.
Yeah.
We did that.
but
Yeah,
other
it
than
was
that,
something my family did like a couple times. It wasn't like every year.
Our the biggest one was like every Christmas Eve we had the same party, but I don't even know if that's a tradition. It's just like
it's just see family. That's
yeah.
what you do.
Yeah.
Other than that, like I try to watch Die Hard, Gremlins, and Batman Returns every year.
yeah, I try to
My
watch
personal, like,
Gremlins,
movie
maybe
tradition.
Die Hard, and then Ant and the Apocalypse become a repeat viewing for me.
I gotta watch that again because I own that movie, but I haven't seen it in a while.
I'm trying to get Hayden to watch
Same.
it, but he keeps saying no.
No,
That's because it's British.
that's true.
Oh.
I didn't
I
even
wish
know it was
that-
British. I just haven't had time.
He'll just have to get over it.
No. Hey, we watched that New Zealand movie.
Yeah. What does that have to do with anything?
They're British.
So-
They're a form of British.
Twice removed, maybe.
They're a form of British. I don't think that's how that works.
and this is to go even more British.
Oh no, Super British 3.
So, the only reason why I thought it might be a recording is for stuff like this where it sounds like some of the voices are overlapping.
Yeah.
But I think it's creepier if it's not a recording. That was a thought that I had on this viewing.
Yeah, I just, for a movie that this grounded, I feel like that's pushing is the only thing that's pushing like my sense of disbelief. So it's harder to give it that when everything else is so meticulously grounded and plotted. And
That's fair. I also really like how the call tracing scenes are shot, where it's like going in between those like pillars.
yeah, because no, to your point,
don't
if you're
like
gonna
that
do that, what it needs to be instead is just like a modulated voice, because I can buy that he can do that. I don't buy that he can sound like a
Yeah.
picture perfect child or woman or.
That's fair. I see what you're saying. I tend to think though, if usually with horror or anything else, if you have something that's completely grounded, but there's one almost heightened kind of supernatural element to it, that's almost a little bit more effective to me. Like that
I
kind of
think
makes it
Psycho
more
falls
creepy.
into that.
Yeah, where it's like there's one thing that doesn't really fit in this world. Like that, I don't know. That idea is just more creepy to me.
Interesting.
And this reveal, this long take is handled so well. First, John Saxon's like, "No, you idiot! That's where the call's coming. That's where the call's going to." And like, "No, it's coming from the house." And that, oh shit.
Oh shit! Get down there now.
Also, he killed a cop. That's not cool.
He's not dead. He's just sleeping.
Oh, okay.
I think he might be dead.
No.
He's taking a nap. Don't wake him up.
Yeah. And
Wake him up.
this is the scene we were talking about where he's like, "Nash, you better not fuck this up."
See, he tells him exactly what to do here.
Yeah, no, this is on Nash.
If you blow this, I'll kill you.
And the scene does a good job where even if you're screaming at the TV, like, "No, Jess, just go." Like, it's completely understandable that she wants to save her friends. Like,
Yeah.
she cares about them. She wants to make sure they're all right. And of course they're not. But this is exactly what he was worried about happening was, oh fuck, she's not going to leave if she's told that her friends are in danger. And again, I'm not saying I do well in this situation. I would also probably fuck this up. But you need to lie or something and say, "Oh, he needs to see you right away. Go," like something.
Just get out of the house. I feel like if you just
Yeah,
speak
'cause
with authority enough as a cop, I don't know.
yeah, the second she says she's gonna go get Phil and Barb, he's like, "No, no, 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 no."
Yeah, no, that is all on him.
I
You
think
don't.
just don't say that the call's coming from the house.
Yeah.
And this whole climax is maybe the most realistic, like, final girl chase I've seen in a slasher or a proto slasher. I guess it's up there with like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but in this case, like, it doesn't go on very long. It's very quick. It just feels exactly how it would happen.
Hmm.
And they set up the front doors fucked up, and that's gonna prevent her from getting out in a minute, so she has to go to the basement.
The basement.
Oh, my creepy basement.
My creeper basement.
He's making the
And then
pizza
Dwayne-
rolls.
And then Dwayne Jones yells at her and says, "No, don't go in the cellar."
You guys want any pizza rolls? I'll send you some in the mail.
Go up there.
No,
Don't
no,
do
no,
it.
Don't do that.
don't do that. Find a gun.
Those are easy to find. They're just kind of lying around anywhere.
No,
That's
I am
true.
both. I am not this brave. I'm out of there.
Oh no, I'd probably leave too. But that's how they pay off like all the hidden whiskey bottles. Is there's also hidden guns around the house that we haven't seen yet. Just gonna like find a book to open it and gun will fall right out.
She
I
wasn't
thought-
just hiding whiskey, she was hiding guns.
Side note, we talked right over it. That is the single most disgusting scene in this movie is the whiskey bottle in the toilet.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes.
how some other drinks right out.
She washes her mouth with it.
of-
Which also, you just brush your
Disgusting.
teeth. The alcohol is gonna stain your teeth again.
Well, Robert, that's where I have a gun in every room in the house. That's where the bathroom gun is the toilet tank.
The bathroom gun.
It just
Well,
shoots water out of it. Oh,
Well, no,
No,
Hayden,
everyone needs a
you've got the whiskey bottle in the toilet.
No. I have a liquor cabinet like a grown man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you
oh,
also
yeah.
have it. So, there's some in the bookcase. There's some in the toilet.
No.
I
That's it.
I love everything about the camera work in this scene. Like that close up on his eye is terrifying, and then we just cut immediately to the chase. And again, it's just so quick.
Yeah, they cut to the chase.
Oh,
They don't stay on.
Ayo.
They don't stay on it for too long.
And again, you don't see much of him. You just get a couple shots of his hands, but we're like following her the whole time. And they've also done a good enough job setting up Peter as enough of a clingy, emotional asshole that like you buy what he does in a minute. Where it's like, yeah, I'd probably take a swing at that guy with that fire poker too, because he breaks the window and crawls into there after her. It's like, yeah,
He's
I
being a
don't care if
real
he's the
creep.
killer or not. I'm attacking that guy.
oh,
He knew the whole time. She just wanted to hit him.
I think I might put this movie above Texas Chainsaw personally.
I
That
can't
is
go that far.
blasphemy, sir.
Well, I love Texas Chainsaw. Still, I just preferred this kind of vibe.
I love them both.
I think that movie probably has a better climax.
That was one of the.
Yeah, but they're just
that is
doing such
iconic.
different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it in relation to other Croto slashers.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably put this. I don't know. Probably in third place. I think I like the. Texas is obviously my favorite, and I think I like Halloween slightly more than this.
Halloween's my favorite, and then this is third because Texas is second.
Psycho might actually have been my
I
favorite.
love them all.
Now that I think about it.
Psycho is
Which one?
great, but that last like 15 minutes really drags it down,
Yeah, it's not great.
and that's something I can't say about the other three that we're talking about.
Mhm. Yeah, even when you're pretty sure Peter's not the killer, he's still a fucking creep.
Your move, creep.
Can't have that.
And beyond that,
And beyond that, I was just about to say that. We have brain rot.
we do a brain rot.
I can buy that Small Soldiers is in the RoboCop universe. That tracks.
I think by the end of 2019, we're gonna be like brain rot central.
Oh yeah.
You two are.
No,
What are you talking about?
You guys are the ones with brain rot. I'm not.
no,
You're in this mess with us. Also, that's not true, John.
you
definitely
absolutely have brain rot.
we're
No.
not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with us.
John, you message me at least once a day something that's brain rot. Like
No.
He's in denial.
no, I've seen your TikTok.
Yeah, I have too.
Yes.
Marcus the Worm is definitely brain rot.
I love Marcus the Worm, but that is brain rot.
By definition.
What would Marcus do in this situation, by the way?
Probably
he-
burn the house down.
He would just erase the house and the killer.
Robert, the sorority house is gone.
I'm
Robert.
going to delete the sorority house.
Robert, Billy is gone.
Good.
Oh my god, wait.
Good thing.
What if Billy is Jimbo James?
Oh no.
James.
Noah's just a really big fan of the Marcus the Worm cover of Hurt.
That's great. That's really moving.
Jess, why didn't you answer me, bro?
Bro, all I did was break a window, bro.
No, what's interesting about this is he's even kind of framed as the killer just in the way we're shooting him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why I think this movie just does a good job of making you think he is. Although I've seen movies before, so I know he's not.
No, you
But
haven't.
still.
No,
Right,
reading
this
the
was my first
Wikipedia
movie.
page doesn't count.
Damn it. Alright, I gotta close out of these tabs.
Wikipedia. He's not even watching the movie. He's just on the Wikipedia.
I'm
page.
reading a
Well,
lot
that's
right
how he does these commentaries. He's probably got them all lined up. 2006, 2019.
Robert's got the or not. You're not Robert. Noah's got the script.
You're right, I'm not Robert.
Robert has the
Probably.
Robert has the script. Noah has the Wikipedia page.
I'm playing the video game.
I'm watching the movie.
No.
Oh really?
No, you're watching Brain Rot on TikTok.
No, my phone is over here.
No.
You got the browser open.
They'd hear it on the stream.
No.
Oh.
We're gonna hear John's ASMR on the stream.
What?
Your ASMR.
I don't think John watches ASMR.
No, I fell asleep with my phone in my hand, and the algorithm decided to recommend me one, and when I rolled over, it sent it to him, and now he's convinced that I listened to it.
Oh, no.
Because I woke
What,
up
was
and
it
he,
weird.
Sure.
I don't even know. I didn't watch it. I woke up to him messaging me. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I looked, and I was like, "I don't know what this
Oh.
is."
Oh.
Oops.
I'm like, John, why'd you send me this?
I was like, "What are you talking about? I haven't sent you anything. I just woke up."
No.
In this scene, I like this cop popping into the room, and then John Saxon's just like, "Shh, quiet. What are you doing?"
Quiet, you.
No, this shot is staged really well. Just all these characters around the bed, kind of decompressing everything that's happened, and then the realization of the father of, oh, like it's hitting them that like, oh, his daughter's dead. Like
Hmm.
this whole thing sucks. And similar to the thing, I like the ambiguity of this ending of does the killer, does he kill Jess? Does he just leave? We just don't know.
It's really chilling. The final
I
few
think
shots.
I think it's one of the creepiest endings in any movie ever. And you just faintly hear the sound of the telephone
Yeah.
as the credits roll.
That was the other big thing that reminded me of Halloween, because obviously this
Mhm.
movie also opens on a POV shot, and then ends similarly where you just get like establishing shots of different areas in the movie, and
Yeah.
you hear the killer, you know,
The breathing
make
in
his
that
iconic
case.
noises. Yeah.
That's
Ooh.
is that what we call is that what we call it? Iconic
Yeah.
noises.
The iconic Billy noises trademark. Black Christmas 1974.
That's your band name.
Hell yeah.
That's a really
Billy
long
Noises.
band name.
No, no, just Billy noises.
Oh, Billy Noises.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we do Limp Bizkit covers. I don't know.
They should have gotten Limp Bizkit on the soundtrack for 06. It would
I would
track.
have loved that.
I want like a really fucked up horror movie, and at the end you get the credits. I was like, rolling, roll.
Hell yeah.
I'd love that.
Hands up and hands down.
You're gonna get that song stuck in my head. Stop it.
The song's peak.
I do like some Limp Bizkit.
Mr. Biscuit himself.
Oh.
Mister. My favorite thing about Limp Bizkit is how Fred Durst directed that John Travolta movie.
The Fanatic.
The Fanatic.
Fanatic, yeah.
Did he make Y2K, or am I just making something up?
I
No,
don't think so.
I know they're a part of that movie.
I didn't know that. Maybe he did make it. I just don't know.
We should watch The Fanatic.
Oh, and he's the dad in. I saw the TV Glow.
Oh no!
This is really funny seeing him in that.
Doesn't he also listen to Limp Bizkit in that movie?
No, that's the Fanatic.
Okay.
Someone's listening to Limp Bizkit and like, yeah, turn this up. I love Limp Bizkit.
And it's so eerie that you just have this attic that no one thinks to check this entire movie, and these bodies are just here.
Yeah.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here.
Oh god. Wait, is the narrator the body or Billy?
Yes.
So
Body.
he is in Y2K. He didn't direct it.
Okay. Is that the movie where it's like, we love Biscuit. This hat means something to us.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I couldn't tell you.
Probably. Yeah.
I've seen that clip. It's awesome.
But he says he plays himself, so it probably is like, we love Limp Bizkit. No, this is a great ending, and I feel like Carpenter loves this ending because this is just the Halloween ending.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I love it.
It's-
One of my favoriteest movies.
Favoritist?
It's good movie.
In a lot of ways, Halloween is just the Halloween version of this.
Correct. Can we
And
get
then
the
fast
holiday? Can we get the holiday cinematic universe where we just make a
Yep,
bunch of these
Easter.
movies, but each for each holiday?
Yes. And then
Oh,
fast
shit.
forward to Silent Night, Deadly Night, and the tagline of this movie, of that movie, is "You survived Halloween. Now get ready for Christmas."
My Prime auto played Terrifier 3, so I guess we're watching that now.
Well, I'd rather
Yay.
watch that.
Aw.
No.
Oh.
Damn it.
Well,
Damn it.
and I like the choice to have it keep going through the credits. 'Cause too many times when we have to do the credits, we just have to cut the black.
Yeah. Well, and it's a perfect just wraparound shot for this movie. The first shot of this movie is this establishing shot of the sorority house. It's perfect.
It's
Perfect.
perfect. It's a perfect movie. 10 out of 10.
I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
I think I said that jokingly, but I probably would actually give this a 10 out of 10, I think.
No, it's a
No.
really good movie. I like
Yeah.
Halloween more, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's really good.
Yeah. So I would give Texas a 10 out of 10. Halloween is like an 8.5 out of 10, and then this is an 8 out of 10.
No.
Yeah, I do think this has more three-dimensional characters than Texas has, but the movies are just doing different things, so it's hard to compare, and I think they both just succeed at what they're going for.
What a cop out
Because
answer.
Texas Chainsaw Texas Chainsaw is like an
Robert,
experience. This is more of a
Just pick one.
narrative to it. I love them both.
No.
No.
You
Anyway,
have to pick your favorite child.
yeah. Enough
Well,
with
that's
the cop
easier.
out
Pick your
bullshit.
favorite movie.
Anyway, that has been Black Christmas 1974. If you're watching after the fact, we appreciate it. Please consider hitting that subscribe and like. We'll see you guys on the next one.